Today, we're cracking open the professional's playbook for what to do when things go sideways. And I'm not just talking about handling the crisis itself. We're talking about mastering those critical moments after the incident, where every single move you make can either build an absolutely airtight case or watch it all fall apart. Let's dive in. All right, so just imagine this for a second. Your organization has a security breach, but you've got them. The culprit is right there on camera, crystal clear. You're probably thinking, awesome, this is an open and shut case. Seems pretty simple, right? Well, not so fast, because even with that perfect video, one wrong step in the aftermath can make your entire case just crumble, whether you're in front of a judge, a lawyer, or even your own boss. The real work, the real challenge, it all starts after the incident is over. And that brings us right to step one, writing the official story. Now, this isn't just some memo you fire off. This is the post-incident report. You have to think of this as the single source of truth that absolutely everyone is going to pick apart, from your CEO to the insurance company. Here's the golden rule, and it's a big one. Stick to facts, not opinions. Take a look at the bad example here. Calling a guard lazy? That's just your opinion. A decent defense lawyer will tear that to shreds in about 5 seconds. But the good example? Video log shows Guard Smith walked past door 4 without testing the handle. That is an objective, verifiable fact tied directly to evidence. It's legally bulletproof. So how do you make sure you only state the facts? It's simple. You use this incredibly powerful formula, the 5 W's. Who was involved? What exactly happened? When did it happen, down to the second? Where, specifically, did it take place? And why? What was the actual root cause? This framework forces you to be objective and helps you build a report that's basically impossible to argue with. Okay, so you've written a solid factual report. Great. But that report is only as strong as the proof you have to back it up. And that leads us to our second crucial part, protecting the evidence. This right here is where so many good cases just fall apart. And this really says it all, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. You could have the most damning piece of evidence in the world, but it becomes completely worthless if you can't prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it's the real deal and hasn't been tampered with. So how do you protect it? With something called the chain of custody. Just think of it like the evidence's official life story. It is a super detailed paper trail that tracks every single person who has handled that piece of evidence. It's your ultimate proof that it's legit. Let's look at what happens when that chain breaks. So at 2 p.m., Manager A takes the hard drive. At 2:15, he gives it to Officer B. Everything's looking good. But then, see that? A full hour where that drive is totally unaccounted for. That right there is a huge red flag. It's a critical failure. And why is that gap so dangerous? Because of this. Any good defense attorney will zoom in on that hour and say, how do we know someone didn't tamper with it? How do we know someone didn't plant fake evidence? That creates reasonable doubt. And just like that, your rock-solid case is suddenly on very shaky ground. And for digital evidence like a video file, the rules are even stricter. First rule, you never analyze the original file. Ever. You make a forensic copy and you lock the master file away as read-only. And the pros? They use watermarked video exports. That way, if anyone tries to alter even a single frame, the watermark breaks, proving it's been messed with. All right, so you've documented everything and you've protected your evidence. The immediate fire is out, but honestly, the most valuable part might be what you do next, and that's the post-mortem. And this requires a really important shift in thinking. The whole point of a post-mortem isn't to find someone to blame. It's a no-blame review that's focused on one thing and one thing only: improvement. You have to learn from the crisis, because as they say, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. The way you do this is actually pretty simple, but it is so effective. It all comes down to 3 basic questions. First, what was our plan? What was supposed to happen? Second, what actually happened? And third, this is the big one. How do we fix the gap between the plan and the reality so this never, ever happens again? And here's a perfect real-world example of how that works. So the issue was that during a fire alarm, the guards couldn't find the keys to the server room. Now, a blame-focused review would just punish the guards, but a no-blame review identifies the system problem. The keys aren't accessible, and it creates a real solution. Install a Knox box, an emergency key safe, right next to the door. See, it fixes the process, not the person. So let's put all of this together. the factual reporting, the evidence integrity, and that no-blame focus on getting better. And let's see what a truly professional response looks like. Just look at this side by side. The poor report is just full of opinions and guesses. Probably the cleaners. They are always careless. It's totally useless. But the professional report, it's pure objective fact. It gives the exact time, what was observed, the action taken, reviewing the CCTV, and the resolution. It's clear, it's actionable, and it's defensible. That right there is the difference. So when you boil it all down, this whole playbook is about one thing: establishing the truth when everything is chaotic. And this idea doesn't just apply to security incidents. It applies to project failures, team conflicts, anything really. So the question I want to leave you with is this: when you look at your world, how solid is your evidence? And how factual are the stories you're telling?